coming up on Sports Night.
Men's basketball takes on one battle after another in the Big Ten tournament.
Baseball gears up for the start of Big Ten play.
And softball takes on the Emerald City.
Last episode of the quarter, Tomás. The snow is thawing, the sun is setting a little bit later. Feeling good, right?
Sammy, it did literally just snow yesterday.
That is true. Well, in Chicago, we may have to wait a little bit for the warm temps, but it's nice and warm here in the studio. We got everything you need to know on Northwestern sports this week on Sports Night
right now.
Welcome into Sports Night, a show that you can count on, unlike Chicago winter weather.
Yeah, Sammy, you really don't know what to expect from the Windy City in March. This week we've gone from the 70s to the 20s and perhaps even a little bit of madness in the forecast.
And the madness continues right in our own backyard with the Big Ten men's basketball tournament being held at the United Center.
It's raining cats, but not dogs, as Northwestern is still hooping as we speak.
That's right, Tomás. Northwestern in action as we speak. They are down big at the half, 45-21 against Purdue. They were on a bit of a streak before that. Let's take a look at how they ended up there. So we begin with the final matchup of the season on the road against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Halfway through the first, Minnesota in transition. Isaac Azuma finding Langston Reynolds with a full head of steam for Minnesota, and he will slam it home for the Gophers. They get an early lead. They're looking to extend now. Grayson Grove finding Tyson cutting towards the basket. He lays it up off the glass. Minnesota enters the half up 39-29. But Northwestern makes a ruckus in the second half. Ball movement around the perimeter. Mullins finds Jake West in the middle. He pulls up from deep, and it's good. Cats going on a Gopher hunt late, and there's more where that came from. West tosses it to Martinelli. The senior makes a move inside, steps back, fadeaway floater, good. Minnesota lead down to just 2. Time running out, West driving towards the paint, passes out to Clayton in the corner. The catch and shoot is good for Jordan Clayton. Full team effort gives Northwestern the advantage with a minute to play, but Reynolds takes the game into his own hands. He catches West flat-footed and blows right by him for his second dunk of the day to bring the game within a single point. It's deja vu. Reynolds pushes towards the basket, and no one is able to stop him. He makes the bucket look easy as Northwestern finds itself behind once again. Martinelli misses a three-point attempt in the closing seconds. West can't get the shot up. Northwestern falls to Minnesota 67-66 in a heartbreaker.
Northwestern men's basketball kicking off Big Ten tournament play against Penn State. The Wildcats with their first test of the tournament. Let's see how they fare. Early in this one, it's Jaden Reed out to Nick Martinelli from beyond the arc, and he drains it. The Big Ten's leading scorer lighting up early on. Justin Mullins, meanwhile, quickly gets it off to Martinelli at half court, and he lays it up and in. Cats on a 6-0 run. However, the Nittany Lions will keep things close, and it's Freddie Dillion in the corner, and that one cashes in, and you lead down to just 2. Northwestern will end the half strong. It's Reed off to Jake West, who gets the bucket to drop in transition. Northwestern up by 2 entering the half. Coming out of the break, it's no other than Martinelli, who picks up right where he left off. From deep, and it's nothing but net. A big boost for the Cats. Reed now driving into the paint, and he'll let it float, count it, plus the foul. The junior getting things done early on in the second half. This time it's Trey Singleton, mid-air bucket, count it, and 1 for the freshman. West, another freshman now, with a beautiful pass to find Singleton, who yet again adds on to Northwestern's lead. And that will do it from the United Center. The Cats win 76-66 and move on to play Indiana in the second round on Wednesday night, looking to make a run in the tournament.
And here is that second round game. Darren DeVries wanted his revenge after losing the regular season matchup against the Cats on a controversial no call, and the squad shared that same thirst for vengeance. His son Tucker especially, he's going to go deep on this tough three to help NU out of the blocks quick. Don't forget, he and Martinelli sharing some pleasantries early. 10 minutes, and the Hoosiers are in flow state, getting the ball to Nick Dorn in the corner for the tray, but the Cats kept at it. Jake West on DeVries for the lay, and it seems like the Hoosiers just cannot comprehend it. He's only a freshman. Nothing new for Jake. How about again, a triple, 14 in the first half for Jake West, and this first half ends with a bang. Watch Angelo Cheravino flying high for the dunk, alley-oop jam, momentum booster for the Cats. In the half, down just one, and they go from down one to up one. We have Nicky Buckets on cleanup duty, pushing Lamar Wilkerson out of the way for the deuce, but Wilkerson was not ready to give up in a world where everyone's got Bam Adebayo on their minds. Kobe on Black Mamba fadeaway cuts to the deficit to 2, but he could not keep up with the two-time Big Ten scoring champ. Flipperdoodle and one finish for the Glenview kid. JR ready to put this one to bed, and he seizes the chance when he's left open for a straightaway 3, nailing it, and that's the nail in the coffin for Indiana's conference title hopes and probably their March Madness chances as well. Coach and captain embrace. We have the point guards hyped for each other. Vibes are high for Northwestern at the United Center. Northwestern score update. As I mentioned, they are down 45-21 to Purdue. Their season likely over at the half unless they can formulate an incredible comeback.
When we return, Northwestern baseball rounds the bases on the gridiron.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Ready, set, piano.
There's no sound. Welcome back to Sports Night. Joining us here in the studio is Sports Night's own Michael Capobianco. And Michael, we have been working on something very special over the past few weeks.
Yeah, Sammy, just a week and a half ago, Northwestern women's basketball head coach Joe McKeown coached his last game, capping off a storied 40-year coaching career. We had the chance to spend some time behind the scenes with Coach throughout the season, and we sat down with him a couple weeks ago to reflect on his storied career at Northwestern and GW.
That's right, Michael. Absolute pleasure working on this with you. Here is Coach McKeown in his own words.
Okay, we got to get the defense. You want them trapping, right?
Life lessons. I think that's always been our goal, to teach life lessons. So if you're comfortable here, we probably haven't done our job that well, because if you're a college student athlete, you got to deal with adversity, you got to deal with challenges. And whatever that is. I think the life lessons you learn being a student athlete in our program, that's what I'm most proud of.
If we short roll, you got to find her, you got to help her, okay? This is
and there's an old saying in basketball, but in the sports world too, that players want to play and coaches want to practice. You know, it's true. You know, players want to play the game. Let's go play. And coaches want that extra hour, that extra 10 minutes, whatever they can squeeze to prepare for that game. This being my last game and last season, you know, you're starting to become a little bit surreal, a little sentimental.
You got to get close enough before you slip.
Everybody's been so gracious, and it just kind of renewed how much you appreciate your colleagues. But when you take a step back like this, you know, some of the notes I've gotten, some of the gifts I've gotten, it's been so gracious.
Coach McKeown's legacy of excellence. GW Athletics is proud to dedicate a banner honoring his career win total at GW.
At that time, that period in my coaching career, we were on top of the world at the time at GW. We were Final 8, Sweet 16, top 10 just about every year. Great players, WNBA players, and more importantly, you know, just incredible family that we had built there, you know, for almost 20 years. It's very heartwarming that people still care. People flew in from everywhere to DC that weekend, and that was really special for us. When I took this job, you know, it forced me to look at things a little bit different too.
You're diving hard here. You're taking up all these guys.
So we had to change how we play. When I got here, we just couldn't compete yet. But you know, we started recruiting to the level we feel like we had to get to, and then we kind of reevaluated each year where we're at and how we want to play, and what it takes to win in this league.
It was just a season ago when Northwestern incredible run to the women's NIT finals. Now the team is back and hungrier than ever.
Northwestern tied for #1 in the Big Ten.
Blizzard zone defense.
Northwestern moves to 11-1 in the season.
Northwestern gets a huge Big Ten road victory.
And the Northwestern women's basketball team, for the first time in 30 years, can claim a share of the Big Ten regular season crown.
You know, you have 3 or 4 teams, if you're lucky in your career, that you feel like maybe you could make a run to the Final Four. And I feel like that team was one.
12 years ago when we came here, this is what we were looking for, and you know, the fans today, but this team is special.
The biggest key to that was they bought into everything we did from a coaching staff, and they were unselfish, and they just wanted to win. It was just a special time with a special group. We were going to host the first 2 rounds. In my opinion, and I think our administration would say the same thing, we were going to sell out all those games. We never got a chance to prove it. That's probably the one thing that's one of the hardest things I've had to deal with here. We're very thankful. You know, we're very blessed as a family. You know, it's been an incredible journey that we've all been able to share this together as a family. And I think, you know, a lot of times in the coaching world, you don't have those opportunities. And for us, yeah, like I said, we've been really fortunate.
After we're done practicing, they come in and practice. After we're done,
I just want to be remembered as somebody that cared about his players and did everything we could to make them better. Everything we could. We built 2 fan-based families too, and it felt so good to see people come back today to support not just our team but our family.
last thing, I just want to thank you.
Yeah, this is home now, you know. But also the friends we made, the families, people that we've touched and that have touched us. we feel like it's been a special place for us.
Thanks so much to Coach for taking the time to speak with us, and thanks so much to the team for allowing us to tell his story. Michael, so fun working on this one with you.
Absolutely, Sammy. Great to hear Coach McKeown look back on his legendary career, and a special thanks to Coach for always, I think on behalf of all of us
100%.
student journalists, being always so so supportive of all of us student journalists. We really appreciate it.
Yes, huge shout out to Coach McKeown, who was such a staple here at Northwestern. Now time to move to the diamond. I'm going to send it over to the other side. Tomás, what's going on with baseball?
Baseball went up to the bank in Minneapolis, Minnesota last weekend as it prepares to start conference play. Up first was South Dakota State University, and it was the Cats who took the lead early through a Ryan Kuchrak double in the top of the first. In the bottom of the frame, SDSU notched a pair of their own runs to square things at 2. Northwestern would once again take the lead, but SDSU found some late magic to tie things up in the 7th and then plated the winning run in the 8th thanks to a wild pitch. On Saturday, Northwestern took on Omaha, and despite a 4th inning single to open the scoring for the Mavericks, it was all Cats, powered by a couple doubles from Owen Mickelfatrick and Nick Barron, as well as a homer from Jack Lausch. Northwestern took the second game of the weekend 9-6. In the finale, the Cats faced off against UNLV. It did not take long for Northwestern to get on the board thanks to a Barron single. However, the Rebels took the lead right back in the top of the second. UNLV hit 3 home runs on the afternoon, 2 from redshirt sophomore Cooper Sheff, and it proved too much to overcome for Northwestern. The final score was 10-5.
Home opener from Rocky and Berenice as the Cats prepare to take on crosstown rival UIC in front of the Evanston fans for the first time in 2026. Let's get going. NU up early. Noah Ruiz drives one out to right field deep, and that will get down for extra bases. McElfatrick trying to score from first, and he'll get in there as the throw is cut off. 2-0 Wildcats. Flames threatening with Sam Laboki in the game. Jake Bussin inside outs this one past a diving Ruiz and this into center field. The run comes in easily as the MVC home run leader strikes first for the visitors. Cats still milking a 1-run lead, but Griffin Mills doubles down that one high and deep to straightaway center, and it's long gone. Northwestern getting some cushion. Mills raising the roof as here's James Whitaker looking to shut things down in the 9th. Bunt from Acosta perfectly executed. The run comes in to score, and the Flames have tied it up. One more chance before extras. Kuchrak swings and sends a rocket into left field. He'll try to go for 2. The tag. Kuchrak dead to rights. No lights means no extra innings for the Cats and the Flames, and the game is called due to darkness. Yes, you can tie in baseball, as Northwestern learns with a 3-3 final score. Baseball opens up Big Ten play tomorrow, trying to stave off the rain. They'll host the USC Trojans.
Meanwhile, softball traded in the dubious Midwestern meteorology for a 3-day escapade in Seattle. It's the Washington Huskies hosting Northwestern in its first Big Ten series of the season. Washington on a roll early. Ali Hetzel pokes one down the left field line, and Alexis DeBoer comes home to score. Weather suspended the game in the 3rd inning, but Washington took care of business the next morning, winning 13-2. Game 2, Marina Mason picks up a pair of swinging strikeouts in the bottom of the 2nd inning. A much better start defensively for Northwestern. Meanwhile, tied in the 6th inning, Giselle Alvarez's pop-up to second base is dropped by Bridget Donahue. She throws to third but bounces it in the dirt. 2 Huskies come around to score the game's winning runs. Washington takes game 2 2-0. And then finally, the last game of the weekend. Kansas Robinson connects and drives one out to center field for an early 1-run lead, but the Huskies are just simply too dominant. Alvarez gets all of this one, a grand slam, and Washington never looked back, winning Game 3 10-4 and sweeping the series. The Wildcats will continue their cross-country adventures in Highland Heights, Kentucky, with back-to-back doubleheaders on Friday and Saturday.
When we return from a quick break, the Wrestling Cats take on the Big Ten tournament. Stick around.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
1, 2, 3, 4.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Tomás, crazy week in national sports. Were you watching Bam Adebayo? 83 points. As a former Kentucky fan, Wildcat to Wildcat, right? But that was fun to watch.
Some say it's unethical with 43 free throws and all, but I'll tell you what, that's impressive. Bam's got that Marty Supreme mentality and that presence in the paint. You could probably even transfer that ferocity to the mat. On that note, we've got Northwestern heading to the Big Ten tournament in State College, Pennsylvania. The Cats, along with wrestlers from 13 other Big Ten squads, would use this tournament to bring glory to their program and vie for individual bids to the NCAA tournament later this month.
That's right, Tomás. Wrestling traveled to State College, Pennsylvania to participate in the Big Ten championships this past weekend, and two Cats managed to reach the podium. Central Michigan transfer Sean Speidel took home 7th place with a win over Rutgers' Dylan Shawver, while Billy DeCracker finished 8th place, defeating Grayson Clark of Purdue to seal the deal. As a team, Northwestern finished 13th out of 14 competitors as the rest of the team failed to overcome a Penn State-led field. Along with his 8th place finish, DeCracker earned an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament in Cleveland, the only Wildcat to do so. That match will take place from Thursday, March 19th to Saturday, the 21st.
The Northwestern men's tennis team took on 2 Big Ten foes and 1 non-conference opponent last weekend. The Wildcats defeated Washington 4-2 on Friday before playing 2 matches on Sunday. In the morning, Northwestern fell 4-1 to Oregon, but the comeback Cats bounced back in the afternoon, beating Creighton 4-0. Those results moved Northwestern to 13-4 overall record. Over the upcoming weekend, the Cats will travel to Madison to face Wisconsin and to Lincoln to face Nebraska.
Northwestern women's tennis split its first 2 matches of conference play, with both of them coming down to the 3rd set of the 5th singles match. Against number 45 Iowa Friday, sophomore Maya Lulariru fell 6-2 in the final set as Northwestern lost to the Hawkeyes for the 2nd straight year after winning the first 23 matches that the teams played against each other. In the same situation against Nebraska Saturday, Northwestern, they flipped the script. Sophomore Mika Dagen-Fruchtman won her 3rd set, also 6-2, to give the Wildcats their 13th straight win over Nebraska. Northwestern, they take the court again next Saturday when they travel to Urbana-Champaign to take on Illinois.
This past Sunday, the women's fencing team took a stop in Cleveland to compete in the NCAA Midwest Regional. The Wildcats competed in all 3 disciplines, foil, epee, and saber, alongside with 7 other Midwest schools. The Cats had consistent top 10 performances across all the categories, with 4 fencers in foil and epee, as well as 3 fencers in saber that placed in the top 10. Sophomore Yukari Takamizawa had a standout podium finish in women's foil after breezing through her pool play and securing her final pool of 12, placing 3rd. Women's fencing now awaits for the coveted NCAA fencing tournament on March 19th, which will be hosted by the University of Notre Dame.
Now let's see where you can catch these cats.
Baseball faces its first Big Ten opponent of the season as they welcome USC to Evanston.
Women's tennis takes on rival Illinois on Saturday.
And on Sunday, the Lake Show faces Ohio State.
When we come back from break, we're ending the quarter with a bang.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at Elias Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to Sports Night. Sammy, before we get to the end of the game and before we leave for spring break, we have one order of business.
That's right, Tomás. Of course. It's time for Plays of the Week. Let's go.
That's right, and it was a big week for highlights. First, to game one of the Big Ten tourney. Martinelli goes behind the back, shifty as ever, and dashing to the hoop. He finished with 24 against Penn State.
Coming up next, number 2 to the Diamond in Minneapolis. And Jack Lausch gets all of this one, my goodness, all the way to the second deck in Minnesota.
And number 1, yesterday, Big Ten tourney against Indiana. Sherevino goes up and he hammers it home. Love the athleticism from the sophomore.
And thank you so much again. That'll wrap us up, Tomás. Thanks to everyone watching. Thanks to everyone in the control room for a fantastic winter quarter, and we're looking forward for more in the spring.
And I think one lesson that we can take away from this quarter and bring into spring break and the spring quarter is good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good gets better
and your better gets best.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you next quarter.